Unit 4, Lesson 11, User Management. The ID command. The ID command shows information about the logged-in user. It will show your user ID, UID, group ID, GID, and any other group you're a part of. The syntax is ID. Another syntax is ID, username. When you execute the ID command, Linux will display your user and group information. You can pair this command with the name of an active user to display their information. In this case, we'll be using the user OSBoxes. As you can see, Linux prints the same information as before. The last command. The last command shows all the user's last login and logout information. Linux records that session in a /var/log/wtmp file whenever a user is logged in. This is a very useful command for tracking user activity or potential security breaches. The syntax is last. Another syntax is last, username. When you execute the last command, you'll see a list of users and their logout information. However, if you want to see the logout information of a specific user, pair this command with their username. In this case, we'll be using OSBoxes again. Here's the information only for the user, OSBoxes. The who command. The who command shows the users currently logged into your Linux machine. It will show a list of active users, their last system boot time, and the terminal they're using. The syntax is who. The command is who. You can see that only the OSBoxes user is active. The group-add command. The group-add command lets you create new user groups and set specific permissions for each group. Only root or sudo users can create new groups. The syntax is sudo group-add, group name. We're going to use the sudo group-add command to create a new group called animals. Because we're using sudo, we have to enter the OSBoxes password. Now, we're going to use the getInGroup command to find the animals group that we just created. The new animals group is located at the bottom of this list. The add user command. The add user command lets you add new users in Linux. You can create passwords, assign a home directory, and set permissions for the user. Only root or sudo users can add new users. The syntax is sudo add user, username. We're going to use the sudo add user command to create a new user called Zookeeper. Notice that Linux is asking that I enter a username matching the regular expression. This is because I capitalized the letter Z in Zookeeper. Linux is case-sensitive and prefers that your usernames be lowercase. Now, let's try to create a new user again. Now, we need to create a password and fill in the personal details of this new user. For the sake of this exercise, the password is Zoo and the name is Zookeeper. Now, we're going to use the getInPassword command to find the Zookeeper user that we just created. The Zookeeper user is located at the bottom of this list. The usermod command. The usermod command changes or modifies user information. For example, if you want to change a user's password, you can use this command. Only root or sudo users can use this command. The syntax is sudo usermod, option, username. We're going to execute the usermod command on the Zookeeper user. Linux just printed a list of the different ways you can change or modify your user. Use them when appropriate. The usermod option, a G, command lets you add an existing user to a new or different group. The syntax is sudo usermod option, a G, group name, username. We want to move the Zookeeper user into the animals group. To do this, the command is sudo usermod option, a G, The group is animals, and the user is zookeeper. We will use the command getInGroup to find out if the zookeeper user is in the animals group. We can see that the user is in the appropriate group. The user dell command. The user dell command deletes users and all of the files under their username. The syntax is sudo user dell username. To delete the zookeeper user, we'll use the command sudo user dell zookeeper. To see if this works, we'll use the getInPassword command. You can see that the zookeeper user is no longer present in this list.